Okay, so I'm doing a refurbishment of my Rancilio Silvia. I think it's a version 3. I got it about 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So the date on there, there's a sticker on where is it, on the back? On the bottom, I think. It says, there it is, 5/10. I think that means May 2010. Anyway, I know I bought it in 2010. So it's about 11 years old, it's now 2021. And I need to open it up because I'm finding water leaking in between the tray and the base plates. And apparently that's due to possibly boiler leak. When I took the top off and saw that there was indeed a leak around the seal to the boiler. And that seal's probably, well, 11 years old. I mean, I bought this brand new. I haven't done anything major to it apart from changing the group head gasket 3 times now. I just changed it recently to a silicone one, and I was using rubber ones before, so let's see how long the silicone one lasts. But I think I've changed the group head gasket 2 times in 10 years, and I should do it more often because every time I pull it out, it's terrible. Also, the coffee coming out of the machine has been quite bad over the last few months, possibly because of that group head gasket. Also, the boiler leak maybe affecting temperatures or something, I don't know. But when I turn the machine on, I see water dripping around the back. If I take off this cover here, I'll see the water dripping down, and also if I take the top plate off, I see water dripping on the side of the boiler, and that stops after the machine's heated up. I generally leave it on like all day, having coffees throughout the day, and yeah, the dripping just seems to start when I turn the machine on. So yeah, every night the machine's turned off and turned on the next day, and water builds up underneath the tray. So I've ordered some parts. I'm going to do the steam wand as well, because the steam wand knob, it goes in more than it used to, which is a sign of the washer wear. And generally this machine is 11 years old, so I'll just change the O-rings on a steam wand. And yeah, so I've got some parts here. So I've got the new boiler O-ring, Rancilio part number, and I've got the steam wand gasket, and this part number, I'll assume that's Rancilio part number, and then there's 2 O-rings for the steam wand as well, and there are some copper gaskets or washers in there as well, which I'm choosing not to change. I thought they'll last longer, so I don't know whether I should be changing them at the same time or not. I assume they last longer than the rubber and silicone gaskets. I'm also going to use some stainless steel screws, because looking around on the forums, people are saying, look, I mean, I'll be honest, I've already taken the machine apart. I've already checked the boiler, and I thought I'd do a video to show it, because I was waiting for the white grease to arrive. Actually, I took the whole thing apart, did the steam wand apart, took the boiler apart, and then realised, oh, I need some white. It's better to put some white grease in where the steam wand turns on the screw. So that just came today. So now I can do this video. Yeah, so I took the boiler out, and the screws look terrible, all corroded. They're not stainless steel apparently, and I bought some stainless steel ones. The only problem is these are 12mm M5 screws, hex head. And there is a 14mm in there, which we'll see in a minute, which I didn't get. So I'll just reuse the 14mm for the moment. There's a slightly longer one which has some earthing spades electrical connections on, which need a couple of millimeters. So these are the parts. I've got the white grease. So it's basically food grade white grease, metal to metal grease, waterproof and all that, which I'll use for the steam wand screw. And the tools to do this job, quite a lot of tools in the end. Probably you don't need this many, but this is what I found I needed. So I've got my spanners, 23mm, 22mm, 17, I think 18 and 13 I used as well. Screwdrivers, Phillips head, flatheads, just the to do the hex bolts for my hex driver. Don't need that one. Vice grip. You could use, if you have a bench vice, also good. I don't have one, so I use vice grips. Pliers, long nose pliers, scissors. And these snippers just to cut the cable tie. There's a cable tie in there. You'd also need a towel, or probably 2 towels. Before I did this, I drained the boiler by turning the machine on when it was cold, running water through it into a cup as much as possible to get as much as possible water out, and then turn the machine off straight away so it wouldn't overheat. But even then, when I took the boiler apart, water still spilled out everywhere. So I ended up using up 2 tea towels to get to mop up the water. So I just turned the unit on its side to do that, which I'll show in a minute. Oh, and some masking tape. This is painter's tape, but that's all I had. But masking tape will do to mark the electrical cables, connectors. There's so many of them. Okay, so let's start. Okay, I'll start by taking the water tank out. Take out the 4 screws. Top off. Okay, so the inside, I've already marked it. First thing we're going to do is take the back off. So to do that, I need to use my smaller screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, and undo these screws. You don't have to undo them fully. Just loosen them, take them about half out, because they'll just slip. The whole back will just slip up. And then we've got a screw at the bottom, the middle, right down the base. So take that one all the way out. That has to come all the way out, I think. Obviously the whole machine is unplugged. Don't do this with the machine plugged in, since there's water and electricity involved. Very dangerous. Oh, that's off. Now just ease, so you have to push the sides out a bit, bend them out a bit. Too much they don't want to warp back. That comes away. The screws falling out in there. Okay, so now we have the back off, and now I need to take off this other cover. So there's 2 screws holding that in. It's off as well. Alright, so now I have it open. So, first thing I'm going to do is label the connections which I've already done. So I just used this masking tape or painter's tape, and I just stuck that over and used a permanent marker, Sharpie type pen, to just mark. I put like A1, A1, A2, A2, B1, etc. And there's 2 more down there, and the adhesive element I didn't bother because this whole thing is so well tied up that with cable ties that it will just go back into place, but you can mark those if you want. Now let me put the camera on a stand, and it would be easier if I get it zoomed in like this on the stand. Okay, camera's on the tripod at a suitable angle. So what I found is to get these connectors off, what I do is I use a large flat blade screwdriver that fits across the spade connector under the plastic, and I just bang the back with some pliers gently, and that seems to knock them off without damaging the brittle plastic. So I've already had these off, so they're all on pretty gently, but yeah, this is the best way I've found to get them off without having these bits of brittle plastic everywhere. Otherwise, some people have basically, the brittle plastic comes off, they just put some heat shrink tubing around it or electrical tape. Okay, so all those connections are off now. Alright, next thing will be to release this nut down here, the steam wand. So I didn't touch this one, I just did this one here. It's probably best not to undo too many because they've all been on for 10 years. So I'd rather just do the bare minimum. I don't want to, because it means I have to replace seals and things. So look, I've already had this. This is a 17mm spanner, but I've already had this off earlier. So I'll just use my fingers. So that's off now. Now what I need to do is, undo the take the camera off here. So I need to undo this here, which I've already pre-loosened. This is a 13mm spanner. So just screw that off. And cut the cable tie as well, which I've already cut. And I have a spare cable tie to use for later. Don't have to use a cable tie, you can use something else. The cable tie will stay on for another 10 years probably. Alright, so that's off. And now this means this hose is loose. So I'm trying to avoid taking more than I need to. So back onto the tripod. Okay, and then I'm going to take off the silicone hose that goes to the water tank. Has these clips, which I already did take off once. So this hose is also as old as the machine. I mean, nothing's been replaced in this machine apart from those group head gaskets. So use your long nose pliers to pull that tag back. And then you have to get this off somehow, and probably a screwdriver that's not too sharp on the end. You can start prizing it. I already had this off earlier. Now when I took it off earlier, I ended up breaking a bit off. So this is a silicone tube. Somehow it was brittle around the edge. It doesn't feel brittle, and it just snapped off. Not a big deal. This tube's now a bit shorter, but I can still reattach. Or you could buy some new silicone tubes, because these ones are a bit dirty inside, a bit old. There's no mold or anything, but they are old. So you might want to buy some new silicone tubes. They're not too expensive. So that's off now. So that means the boiler can basically be loosened. So I'm using this hex wrench thing to take out these boiler screws. They've already been pre-loosened. Now, I loosened them all. They weren't on that tight, and I tipped the machine on its side. I'll demonstrate it. Okay, so Once you loosen the boiler screws or bolts, then tip it on its side and make sure there's a towel underneath. Try out. And the last bit, so the last bit is to undo the boiler screws completely. And yeah, you'll find that it's probably stuck together first of all, so even though you've undone all the bolts. Oh no, no, it's quite a heavy boiler, so it does tend to come away. Oh, here's a 14mm screw on those earthing connections. That's still it's still okay, but I want to change it as soon as possible. This is that's one of the 12mm screws. It's deteriorated big time. It's really bad. So I've got those stainless steel ones to replace, which will last longer. So unscrew all these boiler screws. They're not on that tight from the factory. It's all brass equipment here, so not it's a softish metal, so you don't want to over tighten things. Right. Last one at the bottom. Right. So now the boiler is out. And this, like, I was doing this a couple of days ago. Watch out! There's a small washer for those spade earthing connectors on one of the screws. Now, when I did this a few days ago, water was going everywhere and 2 tea towels mopped it up. So make sure you have tea towels underneath. So what I have here now is the bottom of the boiler with the O-ring. And the O-ring is, this is the original O-ring, it's all deteriorated, it's scraping off everywhere, bits of orange there. And here's the face of the boiler, which I admit I cleaned a couple of days ago already. Just using well, I'll show you. So, cleaning the boiler, I mean, I don't think you need to sand it, etc. It's 11 years old, it's got all that residue of the O-ring. And I just used this green pad and some washi up liquid around the edge. And also I end up using the wire pad as well around the edge. And just, I've already cleaned it up basically, but I mean the heating element's black in there. 11 years old, what can I do? This is very expensive to replace this, so I think it's okay. I can give it a quick clean inside. There's some residue left over from a couple of days ago. Alright, but anyway, the O-ring, 11 years old, it seems to have got everywhere. It's like deteriorated and stuck on things and yeah. Alright, so taking the O-ring out, it's a bit stuck. I mean, I've had it out already, but so it should come out easier this time, but it was a bit stuck, so I just used this sharper screwdriver to run along the edge slightly and then prise it off. And there's the original 11-year-old O-ring. I mean, bits of it are coming off. I just give it a wipe. I'll give it a wipe around there. Then I will insert the new O-ring. So yeah, I did use a green pad on this, rough pad, and also the coffee brush, group head brush, and some kitchen roll. And I've already pre-cleaned it. The face of it feels alright. Doesn't feel like it's warped. I mean, the O-ring is supposed to be the one that seals, not the 2 faces of the boiler. So I've got the new O-ring to put in now. Oh, I can put a screwdriver in the kitchen roll and run that around like this. Alright, so I've done that. That actually took probably half an hour to clean the boiler and the 2 faces of the boiler. But as I said, I've already done it. So I'll put the new O-ring in now. Look at that, thicker. Alright, and that's in. So I'll do the steam one next. I won't put the boiler back yet until that's done because it gives you, having the boiler off gives you access to the steam wand. Okay, so to take out the steam wand, we need a spanner. Which one is it? Maybe an 18. Oh, 18's for the, yeah, it's an 18 mil. Oh, I've already had this out before, so it's not in that hard. And you might have to put another one on, another span on the other side. I did. So initially it's done up quite tight, and I have a 23 mil on the other side, and that makes it easier to get it off, because originally from factory it's quite tight. Okay, so that comes off. Take some pictures with your phone or something, make sure you know where, there's quite a few washers in here, which one go where. Oh, steam knob has to come off as well. So that just pulls off. And I've lost the clip. Oh, there's a little clip which just fell off into the, oh, here it is. Right, like that. Put that aside. Alright, so now the steam one's out. Slots through there. So yeah, take these off. Take note which goes where. And now we're gonna take this bit out. I'll leave this in. There are some, there's an O-ring in here. This comes off, the steam on tip. There's a Teflon gasket in there. I haven't ordered one of those. I probably, maybe should. I assume Teflon lasts a long time, but probably good to change that as well. But to be honest, I drink black coffee mostly. When I have guests come around, they have milk, so not often is the steam one used. But yeah, it's 11 years old. The machine's been heating up and down every day for all this time, so I'm pretty sure these O-rings and things will be deteriorating. And as I said, the knob itself tightens up a lot more than it used to, I remember. So I think the gasket's worn out as well. There's a gasket, there's a thick gasket which is the new one's here, which is a bit that when you tighten up the steam knob, sorry, it pushes against this. So I suspect that's worn. So to get this off requires a bit of force. Bench vise is good. Otherwise, I'll just use my 2 spanners. From factory, it's really tight. Now, I already had this off before, so it comes off easy for me, but when I did this originally, I had to put it in my legs and basically really push them apart. Came off. So I'll just bring it over here, get a bit of... Okay, so steam one comes apart. Screw this, there's a copper washer in there. I didn't buy any new copper washers. I don't know, maybe I should have done. I assume copper will last longer than the rubber and silicone O-rings. Now twist the steam wand screw. Keep twisting that all the way in, as much as you can go. Using some pliers. You can use your hand. No, I can't really use your hand. So this is where the white grease is going to go. The white grease is going to go in between, in this screw basically, and it will be a lot easier to screw in and out. Messes of metal contacts and all that, so keep going. Alright, now it's kind of out. Oh, you can see now there's the original washer. So let's just Right, so this, I need to keep going with this. I want to get this screw all the way out, because once you get it all the way out, you can find the O-rings. Okay. Doesn't sound like there's any lubricant in there at all. It's all dried out over the years, probably. Alright, let's have a look. Alright, so... Alright, so I grabbed this nut here. This is actually a nut. So I can actually take out the rest of the screw from this side. Oh no, the nut's coming out now. All right, so I grab the whole thing. I don't want to damage the thread. So I've already had this apart and I haven't tightened it up enough, obviously. But for the factory, this nut was really tight. So I could actually use that to get this out. Not great to put the pliers on the thread. You shouldn't need to do this. Right, it's out. Okay. All right, so what we have here. All right. There's the steam-on screw. Now here's the, this comes out. So from factory this will be tight. Just use some pliers to get it off. All right. Take this screw out. So this is the original steam wand gasket. Let's take it out. Using a flat base screwdriver to pry it out. And you can see it's worn. That's why when you turn the steam wand, it goes in a lot further than it used to do from when you had it new. So here's my new gasket. New one's black, and you can see this one's fresh. Doesn't have the indentation, which is good. So that goes in. Put the screw back on. Tighten it up. So hold one end with one plier or monkey wrench. Tighten that up. Tight enough, but not too tight because it is a rubber gasket. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right, and then we deal with the O-rings. So we've got two O-rings here, original O-rings. So take those off. Just use a flat base screwdriver underneath. Peel them off. Oh. Right, they're off. Original O-rings. I don't know. Are they deteriorated? Yeah. It's got a bit of a split. Maybe that's from the screwdriver the first time I did this. There's the new O-rings. So put them across. So the way I did this, I put them in my long nose pliers and stretched them a little bit. Just to get it on initially. And then use my flat blades to prise it with, just be careful the screwdriver can be sharp on the end. You don't want to damage the O-ring. All right. First O-ring is on, now second O-ring. All right, second one's on. Now we're going to put this back together. So we're going to put some food grade white grease on there. A little bit. I just got this white grease from a DIY store. It's basically, it was called something else, and it's basically under the tap section, like grease for doing tap O-rings, household taps. All right, so let's grab the end of this. All right. Let's coming through the other side. Just clean up some grease on my finger. All right. Right. Oh, that's through. Okay. And then the second one's going to go in. This is the one I took out earlier. All right. So this has got a copper ring which needs to go into that recess. Make sure it's in the recess. Doesn't go over the side a bit and get crushed. That should go flat down. That's right. Okay. Now this has to be tightened up. No, it doesn't have to be. The factory was really tight, so it doesn't have to be that tight. Hand tight is enough. That's my 23 and 22 mil spanners. Okay, happy with that. Okay, now if you want to, you can replace the Teflon gasket which is in here. I haven't done that this time. You need to get this off as well. You can spray some silicone spray to help move that off, or wash it up liquid. Okay, now I'm going to reinstall this back in the coffee machine. Okay, let's get it back in the machine. Let's put steam on back in the machine. So if I remember, this goes here. I'll make sure it's in properly, otherwise the lid won't be able to go on. So watch out for this bit against the metal. Make sure it's in properly, because you can put it in, you can fix it in and not have it properly aligned. So it ends up, the metal pole, the steam copper pipe ends up sticking up too high, and you have to take the whole machine apart again, which happened to me. So just double check that the steam on's in properly. So screw it up. Okay, so bring up the boiler. Make sure there's nothing inside the boiler from all the work, no screws and stuff. It's done on the steam wand. Gently put the boiler back down. Oh. The electrical connections off. Okay. so we can do up the put the new stainless steel screws in the boiler. So reverse the screw a little bit so you don't thread it, and gently turn it by hand. Do not tighten it up at this point. And we have the extra long screw. So this is the longer 14mm screw, which goes on the electrical connections. There's a spade connector there. Goes on the bottom between the screw and the boiler. So I'm gonna order a 14mm stainless, but in the meantime I'll reuse that one because these screws look pretty bad after 10 years. Don't think it'll last another 10, that screw. So I will order a 14mm stainless. Maybe I could use a 12mm, I don't want to risk it. So just put them all in. Okay, once they're all in, we can tighten them. So tighten this one first, not all the way yet, and tighten the opposite one. Don't over tighten these. Brass boiler, soft metal, you don't want to thread it. So just go opposite. Okay. So make sure the pressure's even. And as you tighten the electrical connections, just hold those spade connectors back a bit while you tighten. And then go around one last time. Final tighten. Okay, that's the boiler done. Now we're just going to put the steam wand pipe on. So tighten by hand. Then use a spanner, 18mm is it? Yeah, 18mm, to tighten it. There are some copper gaskets in there, you can get some new ones of those maybe, I don't know if you need to replace them. Okay, done by hand. Now I just have to attach the pump pipe. Watch out for missing gaskets, there's a copper something or other in there, it's stuffed in there. So just tighten it by hand. Make sure you don't thread it. This one's a bit stiff, I don't know why. Has some water there. Maybe that's why. Alright, so I use my 13mm on this, but it's not really going on. Oh, it does go on. It's just very stiff to start with. Make sure you don't thread it. Alright, and then use some pliers to hold this bit to the final tighten. Okay, and then we've got the wires here. So take a cable tie, place it around the wires. And then snip the end off. Okay, so that's it done. Now I just need to put back the covers. The last bit is to reattach the silicone hose. So I found this was hard to get on, so what I did, I got a little bit of wash it up liquid and put that around the brass part. And then we've got to reattach the electrical connections as well in a minute. Alright, so use a bit of washing up liquid, which I already put on the brass bit. And then ease it on. Okay, it's now on. Okay, and then use your long nose pliers to grab the, whatever this is called. Expand it and put it along. Camera's in the way. Okay, that's on. Right. Now it's time to put all the electrical connections back. Try not to break the brittle connectors. You hear them click. This is pretty easy. Make sure they go onto the metal and not onto the plastic, not in between the metal and the plastic. Should be, the plastic's only a cover. Oh, good. Alright, so it's all together. Just need to put the back and the top back on and try it out. And before you put it all back together, you want to clean it out. Use your vacuum. Use your vacuum here, handheld vacuum. Obviously making sure there's no water in there, you don't want to be sucking that, unless your vacuum is waterproof. So you might want to clean this part with some wash up liquid, since it doesn't get to see the outside world very often. And put them back together. Okay, hose is in the right place. Let's put the back cover on. Give it a bit of wipe as well. Got some debris at the bottom here. Alright, and then this one we have to bend it round. Okay. And slide it into the bottom. Oh, slide those two screws at the top over. My screws are still in. Bottom bit goes on. And then put that screw in at the bottom. Okay, so that's basically it. So I'll leave the top off and I will try the machine out and see if there's any leaks appearing around the boiler. And because you can see them when the top's off while it's heating up. And the leaks will first appear while it's heating up because it's cold metal then going hot, it's spanning, contracting, etc. Now this top bit, yeah, it drops on good. So originally I had a problem where the steam one wasn't in properly. I also replaced it, and this steam pipe was sticking out actually above the, there. Yes, I couldn't put the top on, so I had to take it all apart and move the steam one down. Although you don't have to take the whole thing apart, you can adjust it from here. All right, so let's test.